Theosophy, or the theosophical principle, has been a motivating influence on many prominent people. From Einstein to the great 18th century inventor and scientist Benjamin Franklin, to the early and lifelong member of the Theosophical Society, Thomas Edison, this is the common background of truth upon which they all draw, the perennial philosophy, as Aldous Huxley called it. And the scientists of the mind, too, have found echoes in theosophy. Carl Jung, Nietzsche, Schweitzer. All had known and documented affinities with the concept of reincarnation, which, as we know, is basic to theosophy. Many of the great writers, too, had this empathy. Tolstoy, writing in Russia, "The deeds of the preceding life give direction to the present life." Goethe, in Germany. Balzac, in France, almost echoing Tolstoy, and Blavatsky. A lifetime may be needed merely to gain the virtues which annul the errors of man's preceding life. And of course the poets most naturally recognize and identify with theosophical thought. Poetry is, after all, the dance of the soul. Three of the most famous American poets knew instinctively the truth of the continuity of life. Ralph Waldo Emerson, who knew the secret of the world, that all things subsist and do not die, only retire from sight a while, and then return. And Henry David Thoreau, whose poetry was the essence of his love of nature. Both could totally agree with Walt Whitman, father of modern American poetry, who said simply, "I know I am deathless."
We can all be theosophists by identifying with that spiritual impulse, with identifying with the central trunk upon which all doctrines, all philosophies, sciences, and all art and culture have been based upon and from which they emerge.
It has been transmitted down through the ages through people who have known it, and it's been carried on one from the other through long ages, thousands of years. And well, I think that if people will exercise their, well, make any effort to find out what it's about and then to apply it as far as they can, they will be eternally grateful at whatever they achieve by way of results in terms of understanding, expansion of consciousness, liberation from the turmoil, from the limitations of ordinary personal flesh, and a freedom, a movement into a freedom of consciousness that it would be undreamt of otherwise.
To become a theosophist is not so much a question of membership or being a part of a group, but recognizing your implicit brotherhood with all of reality, and that each person has their own unique path to unfold. As it was written on the great Delphic oracle, "Man, know thyself, and thou shalt know the universe." In other words, if you come to know the essence of yourself, you will come to know the essence of all life.
The Mahatmas said, through Blavatsky, "Test theosophy whether its teachings are true. If you find they are true, then live it. It's a way of life."
The human heart can go the lengths of God. Dark and cold we may be, but this is no winter now. The frozen misery of centuries breaks, cracks, begins to move. The thunder is the thunder of the flows, the thaw, the flood, the upstart spring. Thank God our time is now, when wrong comes to meet us everywhere, never to leave us till we take the longest stride of soul men ever took. Affairs are now soul-size. Where are you making for? It takes so many lives to wake. But will you wake, for pity's sake? The enterprise is exploration into God.